Now let us move on to another important method of PID tuning, that is Wang Zhuang Chan or WJC PID tuning formula with FOPDT model. Okay, so here also in this case directly we have to write down the formula. Okay, we have to refer to this formula. So substitute here the values from KLT model, FOPDT model. Okay, and get this equation directly, equation from this particular equation which is given as Wang equation suggested by Wang Zhuang Chan. Okay, and they are Kp, Ti and Td which are obtained from here. Okay, so let us demonstrate here. So we have got a function called WJCPID. Okay, this we have written down a function which is accommodating all these equations which are suggested by Wang. Okay, and similarly we take the plant, one plant, let's say plant chosen is 10 upon s plus 1 cube. Okay, and then we get this particular model. Okay, this particular model is KLT model by FOPDT model. Okay, and then we use this particular function WJC PID which we have written down, which is referring to the equations. Okay, so the input to this particular function are K, L, T and N. Okay, and let us demonstrate this particular thing. So we'll remove the earlier window. Okay, and run this particular thing. So we can find out a closed loop response with Wang function. Okay, so you see this is the output response. Okay, so right, so if you, let us say if you choose any other plant, so for example this particular plant is changed from the G to this particular G, so let us copy paste. Okay, and run the same program and we will get the Wang function. So let us comment on the earlier plant. Okay, and paste the new plant. Okay, now the rest of the code remains the same. Okay, and we'll remove this and we'll rerun the program. Okay, so we got such type of response, right, with this particular Wang function. Okay, so it is actually giving you a response with little overshoot, and although settling time has increased, okay, the rise time has also increased, but we'll getting a substantially good response. Okay, without overshoot, without much overshoot. Okay, now let us see another option of PID tuning. So one can also design a software tool for finding out PID coefficients. So most modern industrial facilities no longer tune loops using manual calculation method. Okay, So manual calculation method is becoming obsolete because of the advent of computer, uh, and and we are using modern software tools to find out PID coefficient and tune the system. Okay, tune the PID controller. Okay, and also get a good response with the desired control objective. So PID tuning and loop optimization software are used to ensure consistent results. Okay, so some software packages can even develop tuning by gathering data from reference changes. Okay, so that means basically softwares are being used to carry out certain experiments automatically. That means change certain parameters, observe the output. Okay, then fine tune PID controller. So take the feedback from the change in the output. Okay, then again once again change the PID coefficient and see that the control objectives are always an observer is placed to find out whether the desired control objectives are met or not. If they are not met, then once again the PID coefficients are tuned, okay, with the help of a software. So mathematical loop tuning is recommended over trial and error, right? So mathematical PID loop tuning induces an impulse in the system. So mathematic PID tuning, in fact, induces impulses, okay, in the system, and those impulses are actually used to study what is the effect of PID controller and then fine tune the system. Then the control system's frequency response is used to design the PID loop values, okay, in loops and response time of several minutes. Okay, so one can also have a software to actually find out what is the control plant with the experimental data. Okay, so the whole automation system is actually carrying out the experiments by variation in the control objective, or by variation in the reference set point, or step change in the reference set point, and observing PV without any controller, and then by studying the graph. Okay, one can choose a systematic method to to get the desired PID controller. Okay, and we have some digital loop controllers offer self-tuning features with the help of artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence also can be used here. Okay. Now we are going to demonstrate you the MATLAB's very important utility, MATLAB PID tuner application. Here in this, we can analyze the system in a frequency domain. The input transfer function can be taken from MATLAB workspace or can be imported from a practical data. Automatic calculation of PID parameter and their validation through output step response is possible. And it is also possible to export the data. Data means the transfer function for the compensator as well as the transfer function for the plant from the MATLAB PID tuner to the workspace. So let us have a look at it. Now we have got a MATLAB window open here. Now in this MATLAB window, we have got a plant first. We have defined a plant as G, whose transfer function is 10 upon S cube plus 3S square plus 3S plus 1, which is also defined here as 10 upon S plus 1 cube. And this particular plant is already available in the MATLAB workspace. Now let us open the window for the PID tuner. Now we'll import the data, that is plant. So here there are two options. So import a linear plant from the workspace. So we'll choose this, and we'll choose which transfer function needs to be imported. So we'll choose G here, and now we'll also display the plant separately. So the right hand window shows our original plant G, step response of the original plant G, which has been already imported from the MATLAB workspace and which is clearly defined by an equation. Now the PID tuner will automatically calculate the PID gains, and it will also show you the step response with a PID compensator. For example, if we have chosen as P gain only, and mind well there are two forms, parallel forms and standard form. So we choose parallel form. Parallel form has already been explained you earlier, because this parallel form will give you Kp, Ki and Kd coefficients. So here you will find that the step input response with only proportional controller is like this. So this is not satisfying our reference tracking requirement, because we our step input is stabilized to 1, and we need this response to be reaching to the reference. So we'll choose PI type of controller, and I will find that with PI also the system would not give you enough response. So we can also choose from this. So these are some of the other factors to control this. So see here. Now if you add a differential kind of thing, so the response will change now. Okay. So the oscillations have reduced, and you will get a very good response. The system response has improved because of PID. Okay. And also the overshoot is uh, reduced, and it has not crossed 1.2, because normally the maximum peak overshoot should not exceed 20%. And the response time, you can see the rise time is also around 1 second. Okay. So this is how you can design the system, design the PID compensator. Now let us export this particular. So we can export this. So what are we exporting? We are exporting export PID controller. Okay, so let us call it as a C1, and plant is already there in the workspace. So let us just export the PID controller from here. Okay, now it has been exported to the workspace. So if you just type in C1, so you will find that this particular controller or PID controller or compensator is designed with Kp is equals to 0.435, Ki equals to 0.128, and Kd is equals to 0.369. Okay, and we can also, you know, use this particular value for designing the controller and overall control system. Now let us demonstrate how the data is being imported, and how to design a PID controller when the system input output data is available. Now we have got a control plant, a temperature control plant, where we have applied a step input. This 1023 is basically a input, and then later on, so there are large number of samples. So you will find the output is listed over here from this, from 280 onwards. So this is the 280 is basically process variable, and you will find that this process variable is increasing. Okay, but we have applied a step input. Okay, initially it is 0, but in one or two samples it is going to be 1023, which is the maximum input which we have applied. Okay, so this is a temperature data, temperature controller data, which is in open loop. Okay, so now let us design a plant first with the help of a PID tuner, and then so let us choose a plant first, identify a new plant, and you need not to take from workspace because it is not available in the workspace. So we'll identify a new plant here and import it. So see, this particular window is blank now because, so use the input output data. Okay, and specify plant input output data here. So get input output data. Now here you select arbitrary input output data, because in this case our response is uh, we have we have to uh, design a system from arbitrary data. So let us choose arbitrary input output data. Now this window is open. So here you have to enter output signal and input signal. So it should be done column wise. For example, we have data here in this text file, and always you should have a square bracket the data, and every data, each data means there should be a comma in between the two consecutive data points. So just cut it, copy it and paste it there. So this is input data, so we are copying from here, and then we are copying to the input signal section here. Okay, now we have to copy the output data. So see the plant and copy from here the second set of data, which is basically output data, but it is enclosed in a square bracket, and each data point is followed by a comma. Just copy it and paste it there. Here in this window. Okay, now see the sampling time. So let us, so this actually a sampling time which is the actual sampling time at which the data is taken. So in our measurement we have taken this data with a zero point 0.1 second sampling time. So let us, so because our sampler has a 100 millisecond time, sampling time, now we'll say import. See here the data, see the right hand window. So input has arrived here. Okay. Now just don't look at this window. First of all, we have to adjust this data. Now the data should be, now the plant should be identified first. Okay. For that, you have to estimate this. Okay. Atom estimate of the plant. Okay. So let us consider that our plant is a double pole plant having two poles, simple poles. Okay. And let us consider that it has also got a delay. See this choice of a delay you can give it later also. Okay. And then go for a auto estimation of the plant equation. So here you mention update parameter using current values as initial guess. So do this. So the PID tuner is automatically estimating the dynamic model, plant model, and it will also show that how accurately. So it is written here. It is around 78.23% accuracy. It has designed this system. Okay, let's close this. See here. So here the green one is the identified data, and the blue graph is basically identified plant. So our plant is actually passing through the data. Okay, that means it is matching with the plant specification. Okay, so this is our estimated plant. Okay, now let us consider it as apply. Okay, so we have applied it. Now see here, this window has become blank. Now it is deciding a PID compensator for the given plant. Okay, it has identified the plant. Okay, in this format. Okay, with two poles. The coefficients T1 and T2, or the time constants T1 and T2 and K, these will be available uh, in this PID tuner. Now see here, this is with a, what is a PID tuner? So this is with a PID. Okay. You can also improve this if let's say you have only PI. What happens? So this is more, my system is oscillating basically. Okay. But if I choose PID, the system won't oscillate. Okay. What is PIDF? PIDF means it is basically uh, a low pass filter is cascaded into a, so step plot reference tracking. So this is with PIDF. See here, this is with PIDF. Okay. So you can also adjust these terms in order to get little smoother response. Okay, or in order to adjust this rise time. So here we have got around 50-second time. Okay, so if you want to still improve this rise time, okay, you can go for this. Go for this. Okay, you can also remove this PIDF. You can also see what is PDF. This low pass filter is added into the integral. Okay, you can check out whether your objectives are met or not, and you can adjust it accordingly. Let us choose PID tuner, and let us see that we want a fast response time. So within 20 seconds, our system should get responded to this. Any response responded to any step input, but the settling time is allowed. Okay, so we have got around 100 seconds settling time. Okay, so we can design such a system. So let us fix this as a final choice for our PID compensator, and now we can export this data. So what we want to export? We want to export plant and controller. Okay, so let us choose this plant as C2. Okay, and our plant is plant 2. Okay, so this is our second plant, plant 2. Okay, so let us press OK. Now our workspace will have, let us come back to the workspace. So we have both C2 and, okay, C2 is there. Okay, and we also have, so what we have mentioned for the plant, just check it out. Plant 2. Okay, so check it out here also. So do we have plant 2? So plant 2 transfer function is here. See here, this is the type of plant 2 transfer function. As we have decided, there are two poles which are having a time constants at TP1 and TP2. So these time constants are listed. Kp gain is also listed. Okay, and so this is a plant transfer function we obtained. So friends, major problem with the system identification of the uh, plant transfer function from the given data which is available in input output format is that we cannot set the system transfer, we cannot estimate the system transfer function more than two poles, and also we don't have any visibility or any control on the zeros of the system. Okay, so that's why the estimation of the plant is not realistic. So if we want to do that, so MATLAB has another utility called as system identification. Okay, so we'll show you the demonstration of system identification, and we'll use system identification PID tuner side by side. Okay, along with the MATLAB workspace. We can double click on this. So here this window you can visualize, and we can import data from this in this workspace. So let us demonstrate how a system can be identified with the system identification toolbox or application of the MATLAB. So we can import the model here either, or we can import the data here. Okay, so this is also possible by clicking on this window. Okay, so we can import time domain data from this. So a window is open, but for this we require that our input output data should be available in the workspace. So let us make it available in the workspace. So we have got an input column here. So we'll say that here this is the input string and this is the output string. Okay, and if you run this program, so the data is actually placed here column wise, row wise. Okay, and we can run this program, and hence it is possible to actually get the data in the workspace. So we have run the program, and see here input and output variables are available in the MATLAB workspace. Now we'll go back to our MATLAB system identification toolbar. We'll import the data. We want a time domain data. Okay, and a window is open, right? So our input variable in the workspace is input, which we have seen, and output is output. Okay, and our sampling time is 0.1 seconds. Okay, and now we'll start importing the data. So it says that you have more input channels than data points should the input matrix be transposed, because our data is available row wise, so we want a column wise. Okay, so we have to transpose the given matrix. So we'll say yes, and we'll say yes for the output also. Okay, and close this window. And so this data is available in this data string. Okay, now this data is available for estimation. So we'll have to start estimating our transfer function model. So out of these many options, let us choose transfer function model. Okay, and then we have to decide that how many number of poles are desirable. So let us, in the first step, let us say there we want two poles, okay, and one zero, right, and estimate it. So estimation is complete. It is saying that the estimation fit to estimation data is 78.12%. Okay, so let us close this. Okay, we can also have another choice. of number of poles as 3 and number of zeros as 2. Okay, estimate. So this estimation has increased to 78.222%. Okay, so just close this, right? So we have two options now. So therefore two transfer functions are now available. Okay, so this particular transfer function, if somebody wants to see the visualize the data, so we can bring this to LTI viewer. Okay, now in order to see whether the given transfer function fits to the data, so you will find that so 70.22% and 70.12% both are fitting the given data. Okay, so the inside the curve is the estimated. Okay, so now our transfer function is available. Now let us export these transfer functions. Okay, so double click on this. Okay, so this is the first one with two poles and 1 0. Okay, so let us export this. And once again export this one. This is having third order equation in the denominator, okay, of the plant. So this is having three poles. Okay, so we can export this. So let us see these are available in the workspace or not. So you'll find that TF and TF2 both the transfer functions are available now in the workspace. Okay, so let us work out something with the workspace. So TF1 is available. Okay, here you can find out, and TF2 is also available. Okay, so TF2 is available with the three poles and two zeros. Okay, now let us go back to the PID tuner and find out uh, PID coefficients for both these transfer functions because they are available in the workspace. So go back to the PID tuner. Okay, so this is the PID tuner, and we'll select the plant from the workspace. Okay, plant from the workspace. So TF will select TF1 import. plant. So this is a plant model, plant step response, and this is our reference tracking step plot of the closed loop transfer function with the proportional gain. We can also see the effect because you see that here it is not actually our reference is 1 because it's a step input, unit step input, but we are the response is stabilized near point 6 or so. Okay, so in order to stabilize the system, we can also see. So this is a response with the PI controller. Okay, and we find that there is slight overshoot, although the rise time is a little lesser, but the the response time is around zero point 0.3 seconds or so, and we get slight overshoot, right? Now we can also choose a PID coefficient, a PID compensator for this, and we'll find that the overshoot is reduced. Okay, so further enhancement can also be done. This is PD, PID. Okay, so this is further improvement on this. Okay, so you will find that this is a response with PID, and this is a response with PI. Okay, so with PI we are getting little more overshoot, and with PID we are getting lesser overshoot. Okay, and the response time is also the settling time is also reduced to zero point 0.1 seconds. Okay, so this is our desirable PID adjustment or estimation. Okay, and then we can export this. Okay, from this. Now let us go for another plant model by importing TF2. Import. So we have a TF2 here. Okay, and with PID option or with PID type, we get a very nice response here. Okay, you will find that there is very less overshoot, and also settling time is also quite reasonable. Okay, so major improvement is in the reduction in the overshoot. Okay, so this is how one can import the data. One can identify the system from the MATLAB system identifier. Okay, and uh, import these plant transfer functions from the PID tuner. Okay, now we can also export. So what we can export? We can export the controllers. Export PID controller. Yes, C2. Okay, this is for the second option. Okay, because here there is a TF2, so we'll write C2 as the PID controller. Okay, and we say okay. Okay, we can also go back to TF1. Okay, and now this is our PID. Okay, I'll just slightly here on this. Okay. So if somebody want a very less response time, so with a little overshoot, okay. So one can also stabilize the system, right? And we export the PID controller as C1. Okay. So then come back to the workspace. So you will find that here C1, C2 have already uh, been entered into the workspace, available in the workspace. So we have got TF1, TF2 as the transfer function models, and C1 and C2 are the respective PID PID controller. Okay, so if we'll just type C1, okay, so KP is 18.2, KI is in 991, okay, for the C1, okay, and for the C2, so we have got this particular transfer function for C2, okay. Now let us find out step response from the workspace also, feedback, okay. So TF2 into C2, comma 1, unity feedback. Oh, so we'll say our closed loop transfer function is G underscore C. Okay, we are operating on feedback G into, now instead of GC we write it as C2. Instead of G we can write it as TF2. Okay, so we get the desired step response of the closed loop transfer function with the selected PID controller. Okay, and this is quite satisfactory. Okay, so this completes our demonstration on PID tuner and MATLAB system identification. So we'll conclude on this presentation. So we say that many sophisticated and advanced PID tuners are available nowadays. Okay. So we just now we have seen MATLAB PID tuner, which is also a important useful package of PID tuning, okay, which is giving you insight of all the plant variables, and also the output control closed loop control system, parameters of the closed loop control system, and also we can check out whether the desired control objective is met or not. Okay, so practical controller design depends on accuracy of the plant and feedbacks sensor models. Okay, so it is also very important that sensor is actually giving you a feedback. Okay, so the accuracy of the settling down of the plant, okay, or accuracy of this particular controller design depends on, okay, how accurately you model the plant, okay, how accurately you analyze the plant, okay, the plant which is a practical plant, right, which may be different from a theoretical plant. Okay, so one can estimate from the data, one can estimate how the plant model is fit into the standard form of expression. Like for example, we have seen FOPDT model, or one can also find out second order pole system or a third order pole system. Okay, so one can carry out an experiment on the actual setup and note down the reference change and the corresponding change in the process variable, okay, with reference to time, and this data then fed to a tuner or a controller or a software which can give you a plant model. So it all depends on PID computation. It all depends on how accurately you model the plant. So this PID research on PID is carried for the last 50 years, is being carried for the last 50 years, and PID tuning had remained as an important research area. Okay, so it has got a potential applications in space technology, like tracking of particular missile, trajectory of the missile, and many applications in this space science, robotics, then unmanned aerial vehicles like drones, etc., etc. Okay, so these are the potential area of PID controllers. Okay, we have recently implemented a system which is called as an induction heating system. Okay, wherein we have got an inverter, high frequency inverter, power inverter with IGBTs. Okay, and we are applying a high frequency output voltage, okay, through a transformer to an induction heating coil. Okay, and the control objective is to regulate the power which is being fed from the inverter to the, or which is being carried to the induction coil and the workpiece. Okay, so the workpiece temperature is monitored and considered to be a process variable. Okay, and then it is converted to a power which is being desired. Okay, so our objective is to maintain the power, okay, not the temperature, let's say. So in order to build this control system, we have developed a block diagram like this, and we have implemented through a microprocessor or a DSP processor. So here in this case, the PI controller is being used, okay, in order to regulate the power. Okay, and we have used one method of PI controller tuning which we have recently discussed. Okay, and we'll directly show you the response. So this is a response of the controller, PI controller, for power regulation in induction heating system. So initially the reference has been set to 12.5 kilowatt. Okay, and the system started from somewhere, and okay, within a span of let's say 15 to 20 seconds, 15 seconds, okay, it is reaching to the final value, right? Then next, we change the input from here, okay. So reference input has been changed from 12.5 kilowatt to 30 kilowatt, okay. So, and there is a PI controller, not a PI controller, and so we'll also find out from here. So from 20 seconds, milliseconds to around 25 milliseconds, the response is hit to the reference, okay. So power is being, within 5 millisecond the power is regulated, okay, after this step input. Now let us see what happens if this 30 kilowatt reference is changed from 30 kilowatts to pi kilowatt. So suddenly there is a change in the set point, okay, from 30 kilowatts to 5 kilowatt. So you will find that the controller responds, okay, and the power changes from 30 kilowatt and it settles down to 5 kilowatt, okay. So this also takes around 10 millisecond time, so that way, okay, 10 to around 15 millisecond time. So nearly 13 to 15 millisecond time is required for settling down the new reference, okay. Okay, so this is the way in which the induction heating system is implemented and being tested with the step change in the reference input, okay. So we have also designed few MATLAB exercises, so these are available here with a separate document. We can. Thanks for watching.